You ready?
Watch out.
Help me.
Did that scare the out of you?
Not another sleuth.
Did that scare the out of you?
Disclaimer, read all about it.
Well, hello, everybody. What a day full of true crime updates. I have quite a bit of information to go over. Grab your snacks, grab a drink, grab whatever you need to. A notepad, like I do, because I'm old school like that. And we're going to get into, obviously, Sebastian Rogers updates and Michael Vaughn, as well as Dylan Rounds. If anybody isn't aware of the Dylan Rounds case, he has been found. He was allegedly murdered by James Brenner, I believe his name is. I want to quickly recap this case to kind of update everybody. But his remains were found in Box Elder County in Lucien, Utah. Isn't that weird? Like Adrian Lucien in the Michael Vaughn case. But anyway, so I wanted to go over a little recap to get everybody up to speed, because the Dylan Rounds case, somewhat like the Sebastian Rogers case, is sensationalized in a way that it shouldn't have, in my opinion, especially with, private investigators. You know what I'm talking about. So let's get into it. And then we're going to get into Sebastian and then Michael. I hope everyone's doing okay. Let me check in with everybody. How rude of me to not say hello to all of my lovelies. Good to see you, Abhel. Carrie, I threw you that wrench. Don't you go abusing that wrench now, girl. I can only have one devil in the chat at a time. And I think Chris is here today. Just kidding. Hey, Six Up, honey. Good to see you, Shani. Mr. Eve. Good to see you. Even though you're in the other room, good to see you here. Nene, good to see you, Sarah. There's that devil. Lovely devil woman. And look, throwing the middle finger at Carrie. See? Trouble. All the time. Hey, Tits, good to see you. My lovely OG mod, as well as Brooke. Where's Brooke? I saw her in here. Where you at, girl? Think she's visiting family, so she's busy. But thank you for stopping in, love. All right, Kim, Colorado, grits. And if I missed you, or you're watching the replay, go ahead and hit that like button for your girl Eve. Thank you for being here and watching. Go ahead and subscribe if you like what you see. All right, so thumbnail in the background real quick. Before I forget, the Evening Sleuth podcast is coming out. So like about a year ago, I had a podcast that I was working on, and I was like, I can't wait to start this. Da 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 da. Well, your girl Eve got knocked up. All right. And so that had to fall back. All right. Oops. Happens. But it was the best oops in the world. And so we're back on track now. Mr. Eve, oops. All right. Yes. So anyway, look out for that. Basically, it's just like every other podcast out there that talks about true crime and cases and whatnot. However, we're going to go a little bit farther into not just the details of the case, but the minds of everybody around a case, what they've said, what they felt, what they, whether they said it or professionals who have reviewed the case, behavioral analysis. More so, I like people who analyze words versus behavior, but we're going to do it all because I think that it's important to get the whole picture of what could be, not what everybody just agrees to, right? So that's what's coming up. All right. So Dylan Rounds, this just happened today, the breaking news. So let's pull up East Idaho News. Of course, your dude,
Good.
Nate Eaton, who is always bringing in the latest bombshells, especially in the Lori Daybell and Chad Daybell case. But let's see what he has to say real quick.
Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday, March the 5th, March 4th today. I realize it's a weekend, but wanted to come on this morning and give you a few more details in the Dylan
Wait, that is the court.
Brown's case. It has
I jumped too far ahead. Hold on. Sorry about that. That is actually a very interesting, that was the first time I actually dove deep into Dylan's case. Has a lot of good information on that. But the latest and greatest. Let's listen to that.
I'm Nate Eaton with EastIdahoNews.com. We have some breaking news to bring you right now. The body of Dylan Rounds has been found. Dylan Rounds, his remains have been found in the remote area of Lucin, Utah. Dylan is the young 19-year-old who vanished over Memorial Day weekend back in 2022. He was a farmer. He moved to the desert town of Lucin, Utah, which is in northern Utah, kind of near the Nevada border, when he vanished. And his family tells me that this morning his remains were found near or in Lucin in a remote area. That's all the information that we have at the moment from his family. Of course, Rounds had been missing since May of 2022. The 19-year-old spoke with his mother on the phone right before he vanished, and his family has spent the past 2 years searching for answers. His mother, Candace Cooley, tells me that as part of a plea agreement with James Brenner, the man accused of killing Dylan, Brenner led the investigators out to the site where the remains were on Tuesday morning, which would be today, April 9th, in case you're just tuning in, or you're watching on another day. They got there, they found those remains, and they have been recovered. Now, Brenner is charged with aggravated murder and abuse or desecration of a human body in connection to Rounds' death. Let me show you just how remote this area is. That's where Dylan was farming. That was his camper. That was his truck. And you can see there's...
So from what I remember, James Brenner was squatting in this area right next to where Dylan Rounds was, where he lived. The boots, I think, were found like across the way beside or on a hill with blood on them. That's a great question, Nene. I know that there was drugs involved with, he was kind of psychotic anyway, but I don't really know the motive. I've never really heard anybody explain it, but I have not kept up to date with it because I was just hoping they would find him. Hey, Anna Melodies, Turtle Dove, good to see you, Stars. So glad you're here. Brian, Paula, Nico, good to see you. So yeah, I don't know. Temper, yeah, or I always assumed it was just robbery gone wrong or intentionally. There was so much insanity with, the PI and Candace Cooley's interviews and everybody around the case. It just got so out of hand, just like it did in every other case on this platform, that, you get lost in the sauce and you really don't know what's up or down. So I would love to know that myself. I do know that Nate Eaton has the court records. He was the one that came out with the bombshell information, about the phone recording that allegedly has some disturbing information that alluded to the fact that definitely Dylan Rounds was murdered, right? And I remember shutting it off, going, this is horrible. He looks like such a sweet young man. He had his whole life ahead of him. And this guy was a very well known problem and had history. And I think a lot of people pinpointed him from the jump. So
there's not much around this area. It really was a desolate area. James Brenner, this is the man who is facing those charges. He, again, must have said something to investigators or cooperated or something. We don't have all of the details at this point, but they do have the remains because of where James Brenner led them. This is a spot where James Brenner had his camper. He lived near Dylan Rounds out there. Both of them were in separate campers. And when Dylan's family went out to begin looking for him in late May of 2022, they found his boots right there behind that mound of dirt, which was some distance off. And there was also a shed right by James Brenner's camper. This is what that shed looked like. And within a few days of Dylan disappearing, James Brenner cleaned that shed to the point of how it looks now. It doesn't look very clean, maybe to some of us, but he did remove bags out of that shed, according to Dylan's family. And
see, this is where I always assumed he was probably, unfortunately, unalive. But then I remember hearing that he was in the camper. So a lot of evidence was found in the camper. I need to refresh on that. So I might do a video on that, just for not only me, but for everyone else who didn't get to follow it. Like I didn't get
to an undisclosed location. And so all of this would likely have come into play if there was a trial. It still could, as far as evidence. But as I mentioned, according to Dylan's family, as part of some sort of plea deal, Brenner took the authorities to the area where Dylan's body was, and they were able to find it. I spoke with Dylan's family. They, of course, are a lot of emotions tonight. This has been such a mystery for 2 years now. But Candace did ask me to convey, we thank everyone for their support and love. We are grateful we now have Dylan's body and can bring him home as we continue our fight for justice. And unclear when Mr. Brenner will appear in court again. There was a hearing scheduled for this month, but at last check, that was delayed.
From our understanding,
however,
Brian,
now
yeah.
with the recovery of Dylan's body, it could be had sooner rather than later. I want to show you on a map just where this place is, because it's desolate. And when I say this place, I don't mean where
Hey,
Dylan's
Archangel
remains
J.
were
Marie.
actually found, other than it was in the Lucin area, but that's a very large area. But this is where Lucin is. If you pull out here, you can see the Nevada-Utah border right here on the left of your screen. And then over here is Montello, Nevada. Dylan went back and forth between Montello and Lucin quite a bit. This was another, if you want to say big town, it's not real big, but the closest, nearest town.
It really is like the biggest area to go to for anything. It's how remote it is out there. It's crazy.
To where Lucin is. So he went back and forth between these two places. And in the early stages of the investigation, there was a lot of focus on Montello, and then it seemed to shift into Lucin. I don't even know if there's a population count for Lucin, but they do have an airport, as you can see. If we zoom out quite a bit more, this will give you a reference as far as where this is located. So over here is Tremont in Utah, Brigham City, Malad is here, Lava Hot Springs, Blackfoot, Shelley. So it's right over here. And it's quite a distance if you were to fly from Idaho Falls, if you were to drive from Idaho Falls down to Lucin. But this is where his body was found, and this is where family are breathing a sigh of relief now that his remains have been found. So
So I remember watching other people sleuth, and then I would sleuth on this case, and Lucen became like a point of interest for James Brenner very early on. So it's always amazing to me that if there's a cold case that you're looking at, always go to the very beginning and see what people say, because 9 times out of 10, it's right there, always right there in front of you. Mr. East says, baby Eve is dead ass asleep, snoring away. That's good, because, oh man, you want to talk about tired. Your girl Eve is seeing spots. Poor baby, he's teething. So did our first one, our oldest. He was the exact same way. Pretty much got all of his teeth out of the way, the painful teething within the first year and a half. Or the first year, actually. He is so pudgy. He's so sweet. But he's thinning out now that he's jumping in his jumper. Look, one day I thought he was going to fly right out of that sucker and onto the couch, because he was going hard. I think that's just the Eve way. So it's genetics. All or nothing. But good. I'm glad he's getting some rest. All right. I think there wasn't much except for the background information, but I think right here is something important. Then we'll move on to Sebastian Rogers.
He was raised in eastern Idaho. His father is still in East. We'll continue to follow this story firm right away, 100%. Like, we know the ID. They'll send the body away for identification, and then it takes a day or
so
two.
The remains were skeletonized. I do remember hearing that. So they, of course, because of the conditions there. I wonder if they're pretty much saying that it's him because of, data. If James Brenner, which he said took them to the body, it would make sense that it would be Dylan Rounds. But of course, that we're going to hear some conspiracy theorists out there who say it's not Dylan. It's not going to be Dylan. It's somebody else. It's another victim. Dylan's really over here because I believed he was over here, and I'm going to die on that hill and make up a bunch of shit. Don't do that. Don't do that. You got Nate Eaton right here, who has been thorough in every case he's done. Stop it. They more than likely, 99%, found Dylan. Okay. And I'm right about that whole, Delulu's person out there no, he's not. Just like in the Delphi case. God. One case I cannot get back into. Refuse. I will let others do that because I just can't. Odinists. No, I can't. Yeah, dental records, right. Him and Little Eve are identical. And no, it's so true. Yeah, don't forget Aiden Clune went missing about 2 hours away from that case. Yeah, that is true. And, I never really dove into that either, but I remember hearing that, seeing that on Reddit. Delulu, which one? There's so many. Exactly. We'll just say all of them. All of the Delulu. Okay. All right, Sebastian Rogers. I have a lot to say about the most recent Pascal show. It was last night. I was listening, and I was, I do not get into the debauchery, the Delulu of Sebastian Rogers' case. I put out what has been said by Dispatch, which sneaky little devils, they are now hamming up their Dispatch where you can't hear certain things. Damn you. But I get it. However, there is something that I said on a live after my theory came out, the lights being on the garage from the video that was released by Nate, whatever his name is, Nashville 23 News or whatever it is. I have something to add to this. I'm not letting the footage go. I'm not. A lot of people I see in chat are like, let's give it a rest, Girl, you stink. Let it go. Well, I can't do it. It's the only to our knowledge, the only publicly released footage of activity that happened around Sebastian's home. It's very hard to let go. Yes, I know Seth said this, that, and the other. He has also said, I'm not an investigator. I don't know. Let me ask whoever. Like last night, he texted about thank God he did this. Pascal asked him about the clothes, the last outfit that he wore from the steakhouse. Where are those? So he texted his TBI connection. I'm waiting to see if he's gotten an update on that. I haven't heard anything. If anybody else knows, let me know. I've been waiting for that question. Like, come on. Because I know Chris and Katie are not speaking. So good luck with that. Right? Whew. All right. So we're going to get into that. But the latest and greatest, from what I understand, first of all, there was a search and some footage done, a search near, what was it, the construction site? Or maybe the steakhouse, rather. I'm sorry. There was some stuff going on behind there, and not sure, any more than that. But there was a Safeway footage that JLR brought up. I have yet to update myself, so we're going to work on it together and see what we get. But I do know that there was a national Amber alert for not only Sebastian, but Elijah Vu, the 3-year-old who we know those two parents, or the boyfriend and the mom, have some knowledge of where that boy is. In my opinion only. This is for entertainment purposes only. Don't come at me. Fair use and all that. Hoorah. All right, so let's play the video, the latest on that. I wonder if the TBI has updated anything real quick about Sebastian. Not really. Hey, and look, guys, listen, Linda. This right here. This is the money shot. This is what you use to share for Sebastian, for the flyer. You share this. You don't put anything over it. It's really simple. You just take this, save it, send it. Phew. Amazing. It's amazing how easy that is. Now, there are some people that will put, like a collage where pictures are around this thing. Just great. Awesome. Do you. Just don't mess with this part. Any of this right here, just don't touch it. Share it. Don't edit it. Leave it alone. That's all. That's all I got to say. But no updates on the TBI room. It is not their place to edit, Brooke. Exactly. I don't know why that's a thing, but, it is what it is. We won't hash on it too harshly because it's already been done, but I just wanted to say that. Hey, Victoria. Free advertising from TryAdvantageNow.com. Access to personalized meal plans developed by dietitians. Adapt to your goals, nutritional coaching. High protein, fully prepared meals. Order any amount. TryAdvantageNow.com. I hope I get a fat check for my advertising skills. We'll see how it goes.
One has seen 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers. And while the TBI issued an Amber Alert immediately after he was reported missing, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has elevated his case to the national level. Rogers' case is among 2 active national Amber Alerts right now. Both Sebastian and 3-year-old Elijah Vu from Wisconsin have been missing since February. Elijah was reported missing only 6 days before Sebastian on February 20th. Now, there are still many questions surrounding Sebastian's case. The teen reportedly walked away from his Hendersonville home just after midnight on the 26th. And despite dozens of searches, there's been no sign of him. If you have any information that could lead investigators to either Sebastian or Elijah, reach out to police.
So I always wondered why, when an Amber Alert is issued for a child from the state level, why do they go national? So we're going to Google it. Is there a reason? Is there a rhyme or reason? I think it's really good to know. Is there a reason why it just doesn't go national from the jump if the state goes, yes? Well, obviously you would think it's because he might be anywhere. He could be anywhere. They have no idea. Get it out there from coast to coast. Right? I would just assume that that was the case. But sometimes what you think you know ain't shit. Right? So on my channel, I have covered the Amber Alert extensively. I mean, it is from the missing girl in Texas named Amber, right? And she has yet to be found. I hope they find her one day. But they named the Amber Alert after her because there was no emergency alerting system for the locals. The locals had no idea what to look for, who to look for, any of the details. So that's, of course, why the Amber Alert is what it is. And it is very effective. Any child that's been rescued because of it is effective to me. So the National Amber Alert Coordinator is responsible for assisting state and local officials with developing and enhancing Amber Alert plans, which they're supposed to do, I think, every few years or so. So we've already gone over the criteria on this channel. Jurisdictions. Can Amber Alerts be issued across state and jurisdictional lines? This is important stuff right here. So when an Amber Alert is issued, an abductor may take the child outside the jurisdiction of the issuing law enforcement agency, crossing state boundaries. Think of Michael Vaughn's case. Think of all of the other children who are missing, like Summer Wells. Children that are missing under suspicious circumstances. Keep these people in mind. So if they think that they have gone over state boundaries or in other jurisdictions, they will refer this as a multi-state Amber Alert activation. That is very interesting. Very interesting. So I guess that answered the question. So they are more than likely putting out this Amber Alert for not only Elijah, but Sebastian, because he could be anywhere and they really don't know where. There's no targeted search. There's no targeted area or state. That's very, very concerning, which doesn't give me a lot of hope that they have any idea or direction, maybe, or it could be a farce. I don't know. I have no idea. That's what I would, multiple states. My husband gives out so many flyers at work. He works security at an Army depot, and now his coworkers are asking for flyers. That's awesome. Yes, handing the flyers out to truckers. That's a brilliant idea because they go everywhere, right? All right. So I wanted to bring up this, your girl Eve cannot let it go. Let it go. The footage that we have talked about on this channel extensively. Okay. Now, this is from the Pascal show from last night. This is what Seth Rogers says about the footage, because people were like, man, it's just such a crucial thing. It was put out by Nate, whatever that guy's name is. And what do we do with this? You're saying it's flashlights. You don't know. So people were wanting him to speak on it again.
I haven't found any video proof of him since Texas Roadhouse. The video that they showed me of him taking the trash out,
yeah,
you can't see. So it's not Not a definite picture.
So wait. So when you say when the video of him taking the trash out, you can't really see. Can you explain what you actually saw in that footage then of him taking out the trash allegedly?
You see a flashlight.
And
That's about it.
and that's it.
That's it.
And what time was that at again?
You see a shadow. There, I didn't see a time link on there because it was a ring cam.
So he didn't see the time link. He didn't see a timestamp. Remember what he said before? That it was stuck on 312. I'm assuming that this is what he's talking about, the same footage. Let's just replay it to make sure I didn't miss anything.
Can you explain what you actually saw in that footage then of him taking out the trash allegedly?
You see a flashlight.
And
That's about it.
And that's it.
That's it.
And what time was that at again?
You see a shadow. There, I didn't see a time link on there because it was a ring cam.
So only and that ring cam. I know you can't give us specifically the location of that ring cam, but was it nearby? Was it like that video that we saw that was like, a cropped, super cropped footage from a very big picture?
They showed me the whole thing, and it's too dark.
Okay.
Too dark. So for me.
So if it's too dark for him to see, and it's obviously would be too dark for law enforcement to see, how would they know really what it is unless, like, everybody would be like, that's a garbage truck, right? Or whatever the case may be. He tells Pascal here in a second where that ring or the camera was at, what area.
Need to say that that's my son.
Yeah, no doubt. I would be wondering if that's actually him or not too, right? That's interesting.
You could always hope it is, but that's speculation.
Right.
It's speculation.
No doubt the speculation part. Okay, so I asked you about this on the phone.
Oh, I didn't record that part. So again, that's the Pascal show. Shout out for all of the work. No matter how you feel about a creator, Seth is speaking to him, so therefore you got to respect him for getting the information out there for Seth, no matter how you feel about it. So he states on the Pascal show, Seth Rogers last night, that the ring camera was on a different road. And I'm going to pull up his channel just to find that little section because I didn't realize that I cut it off when I was recording it. But he says it's on a different street than, I'm assuming, Stafford. So let me check. Then we're gonna get into the release call from one of the search CJ. That's interesting. I said this, y'all, that I feel like Chris was listening to Dispatch, either from the jump or when I released it. When I released it, just how I feel. But we'll get into it.
Let me just throw this in there right quick. Okay. It is now.
Well, people are who they are.
Hey, Lenny.
Yeah, they may feel some type of way about that, but at the same time, at least they're listening. Okay, so please, whoa.
We're getting there.
No, I am texting TBI and Sumner County Sheriff's.
There was a post that was made on a comment somewhere. I don't know if it was Facebook or any of these social medias, but it was out here in these social media streets. And this person basically said something that I thought was pretty damn brilliant. They said, hey, has anybody asked them, the Proudfoots, to produce the actual clothing that Sebastian was last seen wearing when he left Texas Roadhouse?
And let me explain. I've been screaming this on the YouTube streets. I've been screaming this in comment sections, Facebook groups. I think a lot of people have. It's not really a new idea, actually. But because of why this is so important is if he changed into these black clothes, black hoodie and black pants, there would have been the Texas Roadhouse outfit at the home in the dirty clothes or whatever, unless he took it with him, which I doubt. I highly doubt that happened because there would have been a missing bag. There would have been noise. You know what I mean? He didn't just plan a getaway with somebody. It just didn't happen that way. So where are the clothes?
If they're able to produce that clothing, then, okay, they're in the clear. But if they aren't able to produce that clothing, well, then there you go. Bob's your uncle. That there may be some foul play there. Have they looked into that at all, Seth?
I have no idea.
Huh.
But I tell you what, I can really sit here and go, I was wondering if you two can locate the clothes he
Wow, I haven't heard that one.
Are you literally texting someone right now as we speak?
I am texting them right now as we speak.
Who are you texting? The Proud Feets?
No. I am texting TBI and Sumner County Sheriff's.
Exactly. My man Seth, this is how you do it. Because listen, I have a lot of trust that if Seth is got a direct contact and they're firing off ideas or whatever it may be, I'm sure they don't get back to him immediately. But if there's a line of communication where you can send a text to somebody from the TBI, that's promising. I don't hear that in a lot of other cases. I just hear that they go up to the station or they're called to the station, right? Having to kind of get information from them. Seth is a open book and gives it. And I don't think he maybe thought of this. I don't know. But I think it rattled his brain to go, oh shit, great point. Let's get this idea or whatever, an answer from law enforcement. That's how you do it. Well played.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go. All right, Seth. All right.
Okay. I like Pascal because he is a goofy goober, but he's good at what he does. He really is. He's a goofy goober though, and it makes me laugh.
Okay. Because I put him on the spot, y'all. No, I'm just kidding. You've been so busy, I wouldn't be surprised if you just haven't had time really to think about, process everything. The amount of people that I'm sure you're getting from the text messages, the DMs, if they can't produce that clothing, it's a wrap. In my personal opinion, that is a wrap.
And you see, I agree, but there's going to be some kind of conspiracy. It's always some legitimate explanation in these cases where either, they were missing, haven't been found, never saw them again, or Sebastian took them with him, or maybe they were under his clothes. There's always going to be some kind of runaround that I'm sure two people in a camper somewhere may or may not be discussing on how to answer for that. However, I wanted to show you this moving on. So again, that's the Pascal show from
But
last
then
night.
again, if he really did get home and he really did take out trash and he really did all those things.
That's how I feel about that. Zip it. Because there's nothing that we're not going to ever know until police say so. If they don't have these clothes, something's wrong. I love watching it. Right. It's interesting how some people with bigger mouth than Seth are unable to do so with the police. Right. Right. I don't think he ever changed out of those clothes. I don't know if he came home. The last proof of life footage was the steakhouse. Texas Roadhouse, excuse me. Which, shout out to Texas. Whoop, whoop. But he should have been seen somewhere. If they have footage of 2 points of light, right, walking about, they should have Sebastian at least walking into the house or something. And we don't have it. And that's weird. Period. Weird. It's weird. Just like James Renner. So, leaked call. Got to jump into the leak call, which I think is so important. Like, I have been sitting and waiting for 2 things. Something, an idea to come towards Seth's way that he can get an answer from law enforcement, and then the camera or dispatch. Something with those 2, because those are definites. We know whether or not it's relevant to the case. We know ring camera exists and it's been put out there, and what news has said that law enforcement told them. Okay. We also know dispatch. I put it out there. We know what that said. I put it out there about the search, the initial searches. I did that. And here, Chris Proudfoot is talking about it. It's just, it kind of stopped me in my tracks, because I'm like, this is what I was waiting for him to mention that. And I said that in that live. I was like, I wonder if he's heard of this dispatch, if he's listening. I think he might. Well, here we go. I really, really feel like he is. I'll pull that up. Give me just a second. Sorry, I hate dead air. It's pulling up, though. I put naked divers. Lord help me. No wonder it wasn't pulling up. I put naked divers instead of the narked. Where is my mind?
So, just to not mention channel names, but the 2 channels. Well, what's happening on Straight Arc Divers? So, just to not mention channel names, but the 2 channels that keep mentioning my name, thank you very much. Keep it up. Truly appreciate it. To the 2 channels that think they know a lot of stuff about me and everything else that happened, I challenge you to a live stream.
You hear that? Yickety yak. Don't come back unless you're going to go on a live stream and talk to me about what you think you know. Creators. I don't even know what he's talking about. Honestly, don't care about the drama. But whatever he said, okay?
With me, against you 2, and whoever else you want to invite. We'll answer some questions.
So thank you to the trolls. I just wanted to play that because it made me giggle. I don't even know what he's talking about. I have no idea. Hey, Crispy Tree. Good to see you.
They did. She did. And
All right. So here is the Sebastian Rogers, Christopher Proudfoot, the call.
or didn't. I didn't know who she actually worked for. So. Yeah. Well,
there's a lot of BS out there. People saying there was no dog scent.
that's what, and that's what I heard. And then I read it. I read the article from the actual news, and it said that the dogs got a scent that they from an article clothing or something, and then they tracked all the way here, like several
Well,
times.
here's your better one. There was the dispatcher. The call got released from the dispatchers to the deputies and the responding units.
Did you hear that? He said that the dispatcher's call got released to the deputies and the responding units. Keep that in mind. He said that.
In that release of information, you can clearly hear the dispatcher and the cops all say the dog's got a scent is over here at this pond.
Okay.
At the retention pond. Now let's go to my dispatch audio. Okay. That was you, wasn't it? Says Heather. Honestly, I don't. What the hell? It could be. I mean, I was the first one to release that entirety of search information. That was me. But I think he already knew. Allegedly, maybe this is for entertainment purposes only. Everyone is innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. Don't come at me. Okay. So where is it at? Oh, look, I don't monetize my videos. Y'all kiss my ass out there who call me exploiting the missing persons cases. Kiss my patootie. I don't. Thank you. So dispatch audio initial searches.
Do we have an estimated time of start for the search process?
Call came in at 6:33 this morning.
Great, thank you. 12 to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008. Please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please.
Oh, go ahead.
Do we have any history of this address?
I am not showing any history in the cab with this address.
Rice, where'd y'all start? Start at the beginning of Kelly Lane 1000. We're going to work our way north up Kelly Lane. You want to take one side of the road, we'll take the other since y'all started there. That's fine. I'll get these two houses right here, and we'll take the right side. We log a neighborhood Facebook page. Post was made 1023. Check. No motion on camera.
Rental unit on Stafford. We've had an additional caller call in that lives in the same area, stating she saw someone that made the description on Hogan's Branch, male with sandy blonde hair, with a bag wrapped around his head. She also stated he had on a reflective jacket.
Now that person has been cleared. That person has been found. That the guy with the sandy blonde hair with the bag wrapped around his head, it's a local. They already have cleared that guy. That was not Sebastian. All right.
216. Do you have somebody that can respond to that?
10-4. I was out with that subject last night. Blonde with a reflective jacket. He's in his 20s.
You know, if anybody check this one, we'll be in straight across from the retention pond. That's a camera.
Across from the retention pond with the camera. Okay. So this call that was leaked by narked divers Homeboy's saying dispatcher and the cops are all saying that the dogs hit over to that pond. Let's replay that.
Got a scent is over here at this pond.
Okay.
And I mean, for people to say, no, it didn't, it's like, now you're full of shit because
Yeah, and that's what
deputies said that shit in the dispatch.
and that's what everybody kept saying. And I'm like, there's got to be some truth to this because that doesn't make any sense. Like, so yeah, they tracked here. So
Yeah. And then, like I said, the path that they tracked. So, our subdivision, if you're in that subdivision,
yeah,
directly, the next subdivision over to the left is our subdivision.
Okay.
It's called Victoria Place.
Okay.
Correct. It is Victoria Place. But, however, if that retention pond has a camera that we just said, that you just heard the dispatch, the law enforcement on the dispatch, wouldn't you think that the camera would have picked something up if there was some fuck shit going on by the pond? They already cleared it, drained it, all that stuff. Not one time did I hear on dispatch that they actually tracked a scent. We're going to play it in just a second. But I never heard that. I never heard them confirming anything. Matter of fact, I feel like the initial searcher, whoever that was, I believe it was a dog handler. I'm not really sure. I think that they jumped the gun. They assumed because Sebastian was autistic and he was kind of told that he was drawn to water more than likely by the parents, plus the statistical chances. I think he just got excited and thought that this was what was going on. I think he spoke too soon. I mean, he thought there was a guy by the pond and it was a mannequin. I don't know what that shit's about, but I think he jumped the gun here. But Chris is convinced that there was scent tracked. Why would he need or want to stick to that? Why would he need Sebastian's scent to be around this pond that they did not find? And law enforcement has confirmed they did not have a track. Think about that. Why would he need this? And check in my chat before we begin. This is crucial. This is where I think a lot of people's opinions, they're not going to change more than likely, but it's going to be kind of it might nail the coffin for some, if it isn't already, if that makes sense. This is very important. Dog scent from across the retention pond, but again, law enforcement said they have no scent tracked of him, and Seth says it too. My hometown is Gallatin, Hendersonville area, so many of my friends have been searching. I wanted to go, but law enforcement recommendations told me not to make the trip, basically. Yeah, and I get that because the more and more that you search, the more scent is being covered over a potential scent line that could be picked up. Or it could be that they know it's a waste of time, but they can't really say it. So I get that. Sometimes it's just better to wait for law enforcement to ask you to come help if they need it, or, whoever they're working with. So I totally get that. Being in Equisearch at one point in time, that was the protocol, right? It makes sense. But I'm glad that they at least communicated that with you. I think CP just wants everybody to believe that. Yeah, me too. I don't know why, though. Well, I kind of have an idea. That's why we're here, to talk about it. Right, Chris. Agree. It places him in the neighborhood. Well, why would he want... I know this is obvious questions and I'm not being snooty booty about it, but why would he need Sebastian to be in the neighborhood? Let's look at it from two angles. One angle is, wow, that's a promising lead. It's a promising lead that he was at least there at some point. And there, that there's a place where people can search for him, right? Or, on the other hand, if they're telling people that there was scent tracked, it puts the focus off of the two most suspicious ones out of the bunch here, because they've been getting all the heat and all the smoke, right? Oh, you didn't say those horrible words. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just teasing. But misdirection is a great thing when you're looking into different things. Facts. Which reminds me, I need to get onto Michael's case. It's not a very long update. It's only 2 updates. I'll keep going. Let's just keep going.
As soon as you turn in our subdivision, you're on Keller. Drive it all the way up to the very top of the hill at a 4-way. You'll see that to the right, they're cutting in a new road that will link
all this together. Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what he's talking about directly right there? Oh.
So a track.
So they are currently in this video they're in that construction, that new subdivision being built. And this is the quote unquote construction site area.
Yeah, there was no question. The dogs were on it. Yeah, it was 100%. And do you know how much they actually drained?
They drained the whole thing.
It's okay.
Glad you're here.
So initially, when they went over to look at it, it was only knee deep. From the picture that you showed me, there's a lot.
So he verbatim repeats the dispatch audio that I released, which is not this one. It's the next one. So dive and neighborhood audio. Boom. We all know.
Starting out with he owns a white purple hoodie with Homer Simpson on it.
Simple. Anybody that does a residence can make ask the parents.
Mom doesn't advise that she can recall one. Yeah, well, let the parents know, but starting out with he owns a white purple hoodie with Homer Simpson on it.
Now, I sincerely don't remember, but did Seth ever say what Seth was wearing when he was leaving Texas Roadhouse? I haven't heard it. I really haven't. I know that my nephew and godson and their friends went out and searched, and being in that same age group, I thought may be helpful, but frightening for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't want them to see anything. You know what I mean? That would be terrifying. I do not know if it was said that Sebastian, what he was wearing. He said he didn't remember. Who said that? Blue jeans and a light blue shirt? Really? This was streamed 3 days ago. Of course, JLR. Oh, good night, little Eve. Tell him I'll come give him smooches whenever I get off of here. Black shirt with Grogan on it. Jeans, black shirt with Grogan on it. See, I've heard so many different things on Facebook that I don't take it seriously unless, like, it's from Seth. Yeah.
Because I talked to my son on Thursday. I needed proof of life on Sunday. And they showed me a clip of him coming out of the restaurant, getting into her vehicle. You know? And
Oh, I feel like an idiot. Got it. That's right. I remember now. Thank you. You're right. Okay. So the reason why I asked is because dispatch audio that I have mentions a Homer Simpson hoodie. I have, if anybody has a contact to Seth, if he could just clear that up about the Homer Simpson hoodie, if he has not already, let me know. Because that's what dispatch is asking the mother, Katie. Does he have one of these? Because of something, I have no idea what, but something said between law enforcement.
White purple hoodie with Homer Simpson on it.
10-4. Anybody that's at the residence, can they ask the parents?
Mom doesn't advise that she can recall one. 10-6. 12 Central.
12, go ahead.
Can we make sure that this has been rolled out to Hendersonville and Gallatin? Also, they were at Target Square last night, just bowling at some games. Can you have a unit go there and just go around and make sure that he hasn't returned there? Make sure he didn't want to continue his day.
AKA, go check out and see if he was there, not if he returned. This was at 9:47 in the morning at a bowling alley, and at excuse me, and at the grocery store. I mean, they wanted that footage.
10-4. 10-4.
47.
And let me mention something. Within 3 hours of being reported missing, they were on it. I cannot tell people enough that listening to all of this audio, I can tell you for a fact that they are on it. They were working it. They were getting everything they could. They had the damn block cleared for ring footage, at least reporting back to the command, TBI's command post, within at lunch, whether or not ring footage has been checked out or not. And they cleared the entire neighborhood. It's amazing.
47.
1011 and 1015 have ring cameras, but didn't pick up anything.
517 Hendersonville is with me. 1006, no contact. 1008, made contact. Haven't seen anything. 1010, contact. They hadn't seen anything either. Nothing on ring doorbell.
1023 and 1024 both have ring cameras.
A few seconds. Command the units on Stafford. I'm going to the command bus. If you say anything, I'll be out of pocket for just a few seconds.
1012, Kevin.
All right.
The lady at 10.
Road the cemetery. Just to the west of Beach Hospital. Check cameras.
184, your low volume. They got cameras checked.
People 1018, they check the cameras. No contact.
10-4.
26.
Go ahead.
Want to walk the road to the cemetery. Just to the west of Beach Hospital.
So keep that in mind, walking to the cemetery near the high school.
Walk the road to the cemetery. Just to the west of Beach Hospital.
10-4.
And I'll be out at St. John Missionary, 85. Check wall. On foot. Check wall. On foot.
10-4.
8 Stafford.
68 command.
Go ahead, 68.
1026. 1024, check. Nothing on ring cameras.
10-4.
16 command.
16.
Happy Hollow and Hogan's Branch checked. Just carry all the way along, and then dumpsters and both church buses have been cleared also. Damage from here.
10-4. Are you going back to Stafford Court?
Still on search, but general area.
So this is the other that other retention pond, the second one, right here behind like St. John's Baptist Church, like somewhere back here. It was searched, and I heard nothing about track or scent.
Still on search, but general area.
And 10:30, contact, nothing on their cameras, and nothing.
Davenport has been checked as well.
10-4. Davenport.
Okay, so we haven't even gotten to the actual on foot scent tracking. I have heard nothing about a direction of travel so far.
A lot of new runoff.
Yeah, that's what
from where they're cutting. Yeah.
trying to figure out. I was like, I don't know how shallow it was before or after.
Yeah. I'm 5'9", and it was knee deep.
Okay.
So, and they even drained it and still walked it.
Okay, so they actually walked it. I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And that is actually information that was told to me by law enforcement.
Yeah, so they actually...
Because I went on me and law...
Okay. So he mentioned, this is what I was really getting at. He was told by law enforcement that they went, on a little walksy. It wasn't just dispatch that released the audio, but HIMS and law enforcement went and walked these paths. Let's see what he says.
Law enforcement, they could put me in a vehicle.
Right.
Drove me around and showed me a bunch of stuff. I'm the only one that they've done that with.
Okay.
So the only one that they've done that with, where they drive around and show him stuff, kind of happened with the Audrey Cunningham case, where they took the suspect, around these areas at the very beginning of the case. Remember that? So not looking good on that front. But why would they take him and only him around these areas? I wonder.
I can actually give you a little bit more information than whatever.
And not only that, but how is that relevant to the scent being tracked in these ponds, or the pond in the construction site and all that stuff? How is that relevant to them taking you around these places?
Everybody's out there running their mouth.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going public with it.
No.
Quite honestly, I'm tired of the BS and the rumors.
That's what I kept trying to tell everybody. I was like, it's, the kid. Anyway, I said he left the house, and then the internet went crazy with rumors and speculation. And I was like, I don't go off of rumors. I go off of what we got now. And I said something about that pond. And I said, and it just stopped. I said, so that's where I want to go. That's where I want to search and try to figure this out.
So to work backwards from the pond, okay, if you were to walk from the pond, go straight up into the construction site, you'll see where they cut the road and it turns left. If you walk that all the way back, runs you to our subdivision.
Okay.
If you go down Kellen, all the way down to Stafford.
So I'm going to track what he's saying. I think this is very important. And then we're going to move on to Michael Vaughn, promise. But let's do map time with Eve. Because I'm really bad at it, but I'm good at trying. So 108 or 1008 Stafford Court. Okay. There's that new subdivision being built. What does he say again? You'll see where they cut the road and it turns. Okay, wait. Let me back up a little bit more.
Okay, if you were to walk from the pond, go straight up into the construction site, you'll see where they cut the road and it turns left. If you
So from the pond, I'm guessing the entryway pond. And it cuts to the left. This is where the pond is, that retention pond. Okay.
Walk that all the way back, runs you to our subdivision.
Runs through our subdivision. Okay, so here's what he's talking about. Willow Bend Drive. You go around where that's where these folks are at, because I saw the road sign earlier. He's talking about it goes into Devon Court, which is where I, honest to God, believe potentially maybe there is ring footage from there in regards to Sebastian's home. I do. That's how I feel. But I don't know that. I do not know that. I just have a hunch that maybe that's not being talked about by law enforcement. So this is the road that they're talking about. Why would he bring that up?
Okay. If you go down Kellen, all the way down to Stafford, and walk down towards Stafford toward our house. From our house, if you're looking at my house, I'm going to tell you where the dog scent went. They started on the front porch.
Okay.
Because off the front porch, the dogs cut to the right. They go all the way down the side of the house along the fence.
So they went to the
Oh, thank you, Shani T. Pendrick, for becoming a member. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for being a friend. I got to work on my
What if we're
membership.
still doing
There it
this when
is.
we're 50? It would be nice to have that kind of job security.
All right. So he said, again, if you go off the front of the porch, we're gonna tell you where the dogs went. Take a right.
Okay.
Because off the front porch, the dogs cut to the right. They go all the way down the side of the house along the fence.
So they went to the
They went. There is Sebastian's home. So if you go off the front porch, take a right. They went along the side of the house, along the fence. Which fence? Let's look.
backside, or that
Right.
to the north.
If you're looking at my house,
Okay.
it's going to be the right-hand side. The dog goes all the way down the fence. The dog comes all the way back up into the yard, and then it cuts diagonally to the house next door to us through their backyard.
So it cuts diagonally. So he said that you go to the right of their home, follow the fence, and it goes diagonally to the neighbor. Which way? To the right? Oh, the common area that I said. Yeah, the side with the floodlights. Correct. Okay. All right, Chris, keep talking.
And that is the direction which the dogs take off. Now after that, that's where they get over to the main road, go up Kellen, and head over to the other subdivision.
Okay.
So then he says, go over to the main road. So this is what I'm assuming. This house. So they went through that area, the one that I said the lights were from. But in my opinion, that the lights, the two flashlight, quote unquote, that you see, which I don't believe that that's what it is, but who knows? I think they went through this little area, this common area right here, whoever they are, and went to Kellen. I do believe there's something to that. I do. Huh. How about that? It's amazing that this call is coming out right now. Mm-hmm.
I know.
They've had dogs.
How many? Yeah, a lot of dogs.
But day one, there was 5 dogs. There was a Belgian Malinois,
good dogs, like, they'll do the track that's on the ground, and then if they smell a stronger scent in the air that's closer, they'll go to that direct scent. So if all the dogs were tracking actually on the ground, then I feel like this is the play, like the spot to figure it out. Because if he would have cross-tracked, like actually like headed back, they should have been able to pick up on it, like a good dog.
So, in the 8 days of the very intense searching, in the 8 days, on day 1, the 5 dogs did that. Out of the 8 days, three different dogs from 3 different groups went to that same area and that same scent. On day 1, 2 of those dogs did the same path.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that was the bloodhound and the blue tail.
It was probably a better dog.
Yeah, those 2 were probably
Yeah.
the better ones. Now, the guy, man, I can't remember this guy. I called him Michael, but I think they call him Michelle.
Okay.
He's French. He's out of North Carolina, I believe, but he trains.
Michelle.
Yeah, he trains canine handlers.
Yes. They brought his dogs out, and one of his dogs did that same path. From what I was told, that's why I was like, well, there we go, folks. That's why out of all the dogs, there was at least 3 consistent hits that do that
Right.
path.
And then went to the strongest path, yeah. The strongest, most recent scent.
And there was a couple dogs, like one dog went over to Long Hole Pike and got there and he lost his scent. The rest of the dogs all picked up scents, and they go in all different.
I know it's hard to hear, but Long Pike, that was on the dispatch audio. I don't even think that I released that little bit. I don't think so, but I do remember hearing that. Yes, I do. So let's see if I can find it in here. Oops.
Do we have an estimated time of start for the search process?
Heading missing juvenile, 1008 Stafford Court, 1008 Stafford Court, Hendersonville. Caller advised this morning they woke up and their 15-year-old male is not in the bed. We had a white male, 3 blonde hair, approximately 5 foot, 120 pounds. I was going to be wearing a black sweatshirt, black sweatpants. Juvenile does have a form of autism. This is the first time it happened. I was going to be in the home before midnight. All the doors are locked at this time.
2-4 around.
47. I asked the call taker to ask if the juvenile has a gun. Great. Central to 68. I am Mrs. Fire Call.
Yeah.
Central to 47-180, Warren 12. Juvenile left his son at the house. The mother is driving around looking for him in the Victoria Place subdivision, and she is driving a baby blue Infiniti.
A baby blue Infiniti.
I'm in the area. You can take me off the ceasefire. I'll be en route to the miss.
Next pick track back up. Next pick track back. Next pick track back up. Going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? One more time.
Going into the construction site over here, back towards the beach.
I'm behind you. It's awful muddy. Do you see any footprints, anything? You shouldn't have any shoes on.
Hey, this is all dry, hard packed. I do have some footprints over here.
Right there where you're standing?
Yeah, leading right over here to the retaining pond.
No shoes, just footprints?
My shoes, but Max went straight into the pond. Max led me straight to the retaining pond. Over behind Willow Boulevard, he dove right into the water.
Now, how would he know that he would have dove right into the water at that point in time? How would he have known that? They have footage, or not footage, but ring camera from the home in that subdivision, the new one. by the retention pond, they would have seen something. So we know that that's probably not it. We don't know for sure. But Chris said to this guy in the phone call exactly that. But then he was like, oh, and by the way, they took me here, there, and everywhere. Only me, not anyone else. Meaning no one else could corroborate except for law enforcement what he's saying about scent being picked up. Aha. This guy thinks that he can talk his way into anybody's ear about what he knows. There is something wrong here.
Well, I appreciate your information, and I'm gonna try to figure this out and keep on working at it. And if I get anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah.
To answer somebody's question about the foot, Nene, he said shoes.
That guy I sent you his info, Ken Wagner.
Okay.
He's the EMA director for Summit County. He was the one, I guess, that was doing. He was responsible for the ground searching and the waterways and the caves and everything.
Okay.
If you can reach out to him, he can give you more details as far as like the water.
What's been covered?
Yeah, and the caves and stuff. He'll probably even show you, maybe, I don't know, but I would reach out to him and he will give you the best physical aspects of the search that took place. He's the one that was in charge of it.
Okay. I can do that.
Alright, man.
All right,
If you need something,
yeah, I'll give you a call.
okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Alright. Thank you.
So he's casually like, reach out to the EMA guy, which he was mentioned on dispatch. I remember hearing his name, so that's ironic. Reach out to the EMA guy. He knows everything about the ground searches. He was the one that led that. I don't know if that's true or not, but I did hear his name. Interesting. Now, did I hear anything specific? No. But he was involved in some searching. And I think it had to do more so with the land layout, if you will.
Yeah, do you see any prints around it? There was a few footprints in some of the softer dirt headed straight this way on the track that he was running. Softer dirt headed straight this footprints in some of the softer dirt headed straight this way on the track that he was running.
So there were footprints in the softer side of the dirt.
Truck 47, what kind of shoe does he wear? Size 10. Well, to any units that are going to be assisting with 1008, please come to 1008 Stafford Court now, please.
Wow. Oh, thank you for being a member for 2 months. I appreciate you. More Truth for the Missing. Thank you for the love. So, what do you guys think in the comments? And if you're watching the replay, put it in the comments below. Do you think that he was listening from the jump and referencing my audio to kind of say, hey, it really did happen? Because when law enforcement came out and said there is no scent, are they lying to him? Are they lying to the public? Because it's very hard to believe that there is zero scent tracking on this boy. But in the Michael Vaughn case, which is what we're rolling into, that's what we hear. Law enforcement has never stated any direction of travel, ever. So maybe it's possible. I just want to know.
What if we're still doing this when we're 50?
Sorry. a very delayed audio for the members chat thing. Sorry about that. So I would like to know what you guys think, because I'm kind of at a loss. It could go either way with me, but I'm leaning towards one side of the dispatch audio and the scent and all that stuff. Okay. I just, something isn't right. And I think that law enforcement's having to play a game here. I think that they're having to play a game with transparency versus Chris and Katie Brownfit versus Seth versus integrity of Sebastian's case. I cannot imagine the stress and the amount of fuckery that they're having to deal with to manage all of this stuff as law enforcement. I feel for the community. I feel for Sebastian. I feel for Seth. I feel for the family. But I know it must be taxing, to say the least, to have to deal with all of this. Game playing, chess moves, the investigative tactics to not cross each other's lines, especially justice for Sebastian, if it's criminal, which the news has said that it turned criminal once they couldn't find him. So, yeah, let me know your thoughts. I would love to know. I tend to take a dim view of casting aspirations on the work of law enforcement. I get that. I get that. I believe they're reading and listening to everything. Could be. Could be. Devil Woman, Chris, the Outlaw. 2 months. Good, good, good. You're the best sleuth I know. Even CP listens to you. Oh no. Oh no. I guess that's it's good if it helps Sebastian. Listen all day long. I'll keep churning those dispatch calls out if you need to. Chris Profit Chain. 20 girl. Can you believe that my OG mod has been here for 2 years and a month? She deserves a party, a full ass party. We're going to do it. By the way, I did hit my 5K. Woohoo! And counting. We got to celebrate. We got to celebrate soon. Okay. For now, that's all I got for Sebastian Rogers, but I really, really hope that other creators kind of catch on to this a little bit. So.
What if we're...
Wow, another delayed audio. Sorry, guys. All right, let's get into Michael Vaughn. You're going to want to hear this. Don't leave yet. I know it's 9:30. My voice is putting you to sleep. Wake up. Perk up. Perk up. Because I thought this was very interesting what I found. Okay. It is about one of the detectives and one of the captains, or the captain rather, at Fruitland Police Department. If you're new here, Michael Vaughn went missing on July 27, 2021, near his home around 6:40 to 7 p.m. allegedly, and he has not been seen since. All right. So what did I find? You know what I found is at least something of value, even if it's little. Heather, thank you. 12 months, 1 year, woohoo. It's been longer than that. I know that it's been longer than that. But thank you. So, what is this, Eve? Well, the council reviewed a memo from Police Chief J.D. Huff announcing the retirement of Captain Cy Armstrong on March 15th, 2024. That was only a little less than a month ago. If you don't know who these people are, again, Cy Armstrong is a captain for Fruitland Police who has been seen in the pressers standing beside J.D. Huff and at the, what's it called? The prayer vigils and the birthday balloon release that they had for Michael. I think, what was it? The first or second year? I think 1 year missing. So anyway, he retired. He retired on March 15th. After 30 years of law enforcement, that's an amazing feat. First of all, he deserves a shout out. He deserves a lot. That's a long time being in law enforcement. So, going to give him permission to gift him the badge and department issue sidearm for his faithful service. Great, great, great. The counselor moved to approve the gift request, seconded by blah, 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 blah. Okay, cool. So somebody's got to take that place. They reviewed a memo from J.D. Huff announcing the appointed detective, Scott Crimmon, who was the lead detective, one of the lead detectives on Michael Vaughn's case, to fill that vacancy as of February 1st, 2024. And we have heard nothing. Now, I don't know why that would be hush-hush. Every time somebody gets promoted or leaves, retires, shit, in Texas, you get a party, you get a news clip, you get put in the newspaper, you get a damn near ceremony when you retire. You get all of these good things because we back blue and we're very patriotic that way on a local level and national. And I would think that Idaho would mimic that. So I was confused that this wasn't something of importance to the public. I don't know. I'm not saying there's anything nefarious with it. I just thought it was weird. It was a little weird. Am I looking too much into it? Maybe there is something more. Maybe he's like, just Josh and you, I'm coming back next week. I don't know. And maybe there's something personal that forced this. I don't know. I'm just speculating. Don't come at me. But what do you think? So is there going to be another detective that's going to fill Sir Crimmon's place? Is Juanita all by her lonesome? The other lead detective, or I think the only lead detective at this point. What's going on? Right? I don't know. I would hope that this would be something that maybe JDF could give the locals, because I've asked locals, because I didn't want to jump the gun here. And the locals were like, beats me, no idea. And had no clue. I don't know. Right. And I thought about that, Shane. Maybe he just wanted to step out of the limelight quietly. It's really hard to do, though, when you live in or you serve a community of 5,000 people. Right? Everybody knows you. Everybody's going to know. So why not just accept that love? Or even just a Facebook post, like, here's the deal. Because people are going to find out eventually, like Eve, who got this from you guessed it, local city council meetings that I preach to everybody to go see, to get involved in your own local community. Juanita, did you really? That's hilarious. I don't think he was forced to retire. I don't know. I'm just saying because there's only a handful of cops in a town of 5,000 people, and there is a missing child in that town named Michael Vaughn. Is there a problem with? Maybe there was some problems with that. I don't know. I'm not trying to speculate too hard. I just thought it was very interesting. That's all. Stacey Wandra. I have not spoken to Stacey Wandra in quite a while. Hell, I even think somebody else on the creator YouTube streets have spoken to Stacey Wandra most recently. I have not, but I do know that he is in Fed Marshal custody, waiting for a hearing. I think his hearing's not until May something of this year. So he's in Ada County for a hot minute for probation violations. I have no idea what the extent of those are. It's really none of our concern because it doesn't involve Michael Vaughn that we know of. So that's all I got. Really not much. I hope there is something in the mix of law enforcement updating their community, because we're back at square one, in my opinion. I really feel that way. I feel like everybody was like, oops, we really thought we had this. Or they do have it, except for that one piece that the district attorney is saying, you got to get this or nothing. Maybe they learned from grand jury proceeding. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate too much, but that's all I got. I can go for that. Kids go on spring break Friday. Awesome. Oh, God. Yeah, that's coming up. Hey, it's not uncommon around these small parts to get in trouble for something, and then you get told you have an option to retire. That is a fact, Jack. That's what happens here, too. Yep. Same. But thank you guys for being with me for over an hour and a half. I'm going to wrap it up. Thank you so much again for being members. You know who you are out there. And again, Shane, thank you for joining. I will try to update you as much as I can on the cases that we cover here. And I will also update on the Evening Sleuth podcast. Look out for that stuff. Well, guys, you know, as I say, drink your water, hug yourself, your fur babies, grandbabies. Let's get these missing children some more advocacy on this channel. And I will see you on the next live. Bye, guys.